Dave McMenamin is reporting Luka Doncic will not play tonight against the Bucks as he continues to manage an ankle injury. It's the second game of a back-to-back for the Lakers. Luka, 31 in a big win over the Nuggets last night, but it appears he...
Today, presented by Levi's.
Just to be clear, you did call it, right?
Bank?
Yes.
I might have whispered it.
Hardaway will inbound. Look at who's guarding Cade Cunningham right now. Cunningham gets the ball against Bam. Pulls up for the win. Got it! Detroit basketball!
With the Heat's best defender's hand in his face. If you don't know, now you know. This is March. It isn't just the madness in the tournament. It's buzzer beaters in the NBA as well. And the entire basketball world took notice. Cade Cunningham took hoops by storm last night. I think it's fair to say that we should get a little bit more Detroit basketball games. Yes. What do you think?
A little bit.
On
Just a little
ESPN because they showed up and showed out. Should we show everybody how this one went down last night, my friends? Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons in South Beach. We picked this one up in the third quarter. Udonis Haslem. Huge slam there for Detroit. The pass, of course, from Cade Cunningham. And then Cade going to work here, sliding through defenders. How many pump fakes was that?
I mean, look at the bag where he gets in the paint, 3-4 defenders, stays on balance, and gets a good shot up.
This was a good game down the stretch.
It was
so
a great
minute 20
game.
to play. Tyler Hero.
That was a windshield wiper.
Buzzcut hero.
But, oh, my God.
On the other end.
Just look at the distribution of the basketball. Everyone's fighting for old boards. How bad do you want it? Knock it down. We thought that could have been the dagger.
We really did. And then Tyler Hero, once again, Buzzcut Hero, we calling him,
Yes, sir.
gets this one to head him to the free throw line. Tyler Hero would make both free throws, so the game all tied here at 113. We were talking about how we were going to go to overtime at this point. No, sir. Here comes the motorcade. Cade Cunningham with Bam Adebayo's hand in his face. It's good. The bank is open.
Good defense, better offense by Cade. If he was 6'6", Bam would have got a hand on that shot.
This is what it sounded like on the game broadcast from the one and only Mark Jones.
Cunningham gets the ball against Bam. Pulls up for the win. Got it! Detroit basketball.
And there you have it. That's all she wrote. Here was Cade Cunningham after that incredible game winner.
I mean, big fella got a good rebound for me to take the lead. But to have the trust by coach, by my teammates, to get the last play, I got to go knock it down again. So, bless, highly favored. I can't do nothing but thank the Lord.
I mean, you just got to get him the ball. Thing about old Doug Collins clip, just get him the ball and get out the way, right? But you try to get the ball in his hands, occupy the guys around him, and you know that Cade's going to be able to get his shot off. Like, he's got the size, he's got the skill. You know he's going to get his look. You know, we told him to go win the game, and he went and got it done.
Are you not entertained, y'all? JB Bickerstaff started off the week saying we need more respect. Well, respect is earned, not given, and Cade earned every bucket and every ounce of respect with that game winner. Let's break it down, UD.
I mean, pushing through the down screen, the thing is he's got to get open on two defenders. We have a guy that is shading the ball before he even gets the ball. Now he gets to his spot. Easy because he works on it, but he has to get it over 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan. Bam Adebayo, one of the best five-way defenders, can guard all positions.
Honestly, don't you feel like that was well defended? Maybe you ball hawk a little bit more, but more importantly, Cade, when it mattered most, was able to knock it down against one of the best defenders in the NBA, UD.
There's nothing that he could have done differently. Maybe shade the ball a little bit more, but ultimately there's a great player making a great play at the right time.
And most importantly, Malika, Cade made a statement. He made a statement.
Has arrived. Look out, the motorcade is coming through. But when there is a winner, there must also be a loser. And in this case, it's an unprecedented losing streak for the Heat, right? We know this is the longest streak of Eric Spoelstra's illustrious career, but it's also the longest streak since 2008 when the team won just 15 games that year. So, UD, you said on the show that the Heat were under a microscope here. Obviously, this is not what they wanted, adding now to a 9-game losing streak. You talked to Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. What's the mood around the locker room right now?
Frustrated, disappointed, but obviously these guys understand that they're getting a crash course in leadership right now. Everybody in the locker room is watching them right now, and everything they want out of this is on the other side of doing the hard things. They got to get through the hard things to get to the other side of it. Once they get to the other side, it'll be a little bit of sunshine right now. I know they can't see that, but this is building them up for something greater. They still have 13 games left. There still is a chance if they can go on a little run right here to get out of this hut right now, but they got to continue to stay together. And one thing I know about Spo, this is when he's at his best.
I do love that saying, everything you want is on the other side of hard, and it certainly seems like that is the way right now for the Miami Heat, who have lost 9 games in a row now. The second game on ESPN last night, it was supposed to be a showdown.
Supposed to be. Beat down.
They were uber shorthanded against Luka and the Lakers, but we got some Luka magic pregame. Did you guys catch this? Did you see this? From behind the backboard into the stands?
That's so pure.
When I saw that, I knew he was coming to cook.
We should have known that.
We should have known, particularly with no Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Tim McMahon was at the game, joins us now. Why did these two not play?
They're banged up. They're hurt. And the Nuggets are prioritizing getting them right for the playoffs and making sure they're not still dealing with nagging injuries over fighting for playoff seeds. I watched Jamal Murray play one-on-one with an assistant coach who played D2 ball 2 decades ago. He couldn't guard him. Wasn't ready for Luka and Austin Reeves.
Well, especially Luka in the first quarter. 21 points for Luka Doncic.
Look, Luka, talking about getting right for the playoffs, it's Luka Doncic playing the game. And honestly, looking at these highlights, the league has to be scared right now.
Oh, yeah, he's in his zone right now. He goes, they shrink the elbow, he steps back and shoots it over 2 guys right there. He's in his zone.
Luka, like we mentioned, 21 in the first quarter. That's tied for the most points in any quarter by a Lakers player this season. So he was really feeling it. On to the third quarter we go here. Dorian Finney-Smith to Luka Doncic, sinks the 3.
I mean, Dorian Smith, he's usually the guy that's getting facilitated for, but he facilitates for Luka this time.
The Los Angeles Lakers, they roll in this one, and they've now won 3 in a row. They've been without LeBron for 10 games this season. This recent stretch, it's been okay. They've been able to stay afloat. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, they've really stepped up in those games. They're averaging over 58 points games combined through that stretch. So, Udonis, what do you think the Lakers have proven? Because I know we've been talking about their defense. We've been talking about, is this sustainable? It's starting to feel like it might be.
Luka's getting more confident. He's getting more comfortable. He can carry the load, but the balance of the other guys gaining confidence, that's what's most, stands out the most to me, is that Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, Vanderbilt, Kakula, however you say his name. All these guys are in the mix right now. It only helps them be more dangerous in the playoffs because everybody's going to focus on Luka and LeBron. You need these guys to have confidence in a 7-game series.
And this is a team that obviously made a major change at the trade deadline. Yeah. You have to be impressed with how connected they are, how everything is tied together. Luka is fully engaged with this team. The kid's heart was broken. He had to go through an emotional period coming out of that trade, basically getting dumped. You see the joy back in him, and you see it on both ends of the floor.
Look, Luka Doncic has raised the ceiling for the Los Angeles Lakers by the fact that he makes everyone better. He has been able to walk in, even without LeBron James. You're seeing Austin Reeves eat. Austin Reeves cook. Like we talked about, first half, yesterday on NBA Countdown, their bench already had 29 points. Everyone is a better shooter when Luka Doncic is on the floor. And I also feel like the Los Angeles Lakers might be the luckiest team in basketball. Let me knock on some wood right here.
Okay.
Because they won the trade deadline. I called it manna from heaven getting Luka Doncic. Now you have a little bit of then you see LeBron and Luka, it can work. Then you have a little bit of a bump in the road without LeBron James. But this allows Luka to get in rhythm, to get his legs under him at the perfect time for the playoffs, while also spread the rock, and now everyone's going into the postseason feeling more confident. What is it? The L in the Lakers stands for lucky and for Luka.
I like that. That is a bar. But defensively, we were wondering whether or not this was going to be sustainable for Los Angeles, especially when Luka Doncic was traded to LA. I think we need to go back even farther, though, because before Dorian Finney-Smith was traded to Los Angeles and played his first games late in December, the Lakers were 21st in defense. Since he debuted, the Lakers have ranked 4th defensively. What's working for them?
Dorian Finney-Smith is one of the best role players in the NBA. Never wants more, never plays outside of his character. He can't help a mediocre team get better, but he can make a good team great. And he was a huge piece of the Mavericks going to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago. And look, Luka Doncic, obviously, his defense has been scrutinized. When he is engaged, when you protect him in a scheme, he can be a very effective defender. He's big, he's smart, he has great hands, and we've seen him contribute on that end with the Lakers, just like we did late last season in Dallas.
Is that a contagious effort thing, UD?
Well, he's also a Gator, too, so I think it might be something. It might be something in the water. Yes, of course it is. I mean, he's a defender. He talks about getting out there, being defensive. I think he's one of the guys who takes pride in that. He understands his role. He's an enforcer. He's physical. He doesn't care about points. But also at the end of the day, we got to give Reeves a little bit of love. We got to give Reeves a little bit of love for what he's been able to do. He doesn't need anybody to set up anything for him. He can go get his own. You need a guy like that down the stretch sometimes.
So maybe the L in Lakers stands for lucky, it stands for Luka, and lately it's been standing for lockdown defense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Los Angeles Lakers, they're going to be without Luka Doncic in tonight's matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks, as our Dave McMenamin just reported. But the last time they were without Luka and LeBron, we saw them give a hard-fought game to Denver. So it doesn't mean you want to turn the TV off, Mr. Lamar. All right, still the Pacers, because they've won 3 out of their last 4. They've gotten a little flair from Tyrese Halliburton, some flavor from Obi Toppin. And on Wednesday, it happened again, Shanae. They trailed by 11 with less than 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter here. Here we go, final minute, 5-point game. You think it's over? Not so fast.
The frenetic style that they play, especially late games, to keep the game close or at least try to take the lead is what helps them. They play very college-style March Madness-y around this time.
You cannot have a turnover like this, Udonis.
Snatched.
You can't down the stretch with 20 seconds left to go in the game. You can't let them just take the ball from you.
And then final game winner here for Nembhard. And the Pacers broadcast, they knew it was good basically the second it left his hand.
Pacers have it, a chance to tie.
Yeah, Nembhard
hits the 3. Nembhard gives Indiana the lead.
That ball was like
we
3
gotta do
seconds.
that every time he does
3
something.
seconds from going down.
Nembhard.
And they were saying, yeah, Nembhard.
Shout out Pascal for the extra pass.
Yes, sir.
Indiana gets it done. The Pacers, they've turned this around. They have a knack for late-game dramatics, too. Indiana's the first team since the 2002 Raptors to win 3 games in a 5-game span when trailing in the final 20 seconds. So, Obi, Halliburton, masters at making the timely shot, beating the clock. But how about y'all? I want to put you guys to the test. 24 seconds on the clock to answer some questions after last night's action. You ready? First up, the Rockets. They've won 8 straight games, their longest win streak this season. They're 20 games over 500 for the first time since 2018-19. Janae, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, y'all. The Houston Rockets are in the playoffs. Y'all can't tell me nothing. Number 2 in the West. The starters combined for 98 points, almost 100 points. Alperen Şengün with a double-double, but most importantly, the team, my squad, that struggles to shoot the free throw. I think they shot 90% from the free throw line. All signs are towards what? Liftoff. My phone was blowing up from Houston. Like, everyone's so excited.
So Janae is clearly hyped about the Houston Rockets. Next up, Mamu. Sandro Mamukelashvili scored a career-high 34 points in 19 minutes, the most points in a game when playing fewer than 20 minutes. After the game, Mamu had some flavor.
My father here, my brother here. It's an unbelievable night. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We love you guys.
Flav, have you ever seen a shooting performance like this before?
Hey, let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody say. My man is on fire.
Flav, UD. Just how special was this moment for Mamu? 24 seconds. Go.
When the stars are away, the role players must play. I love when role players get an opportunity to show what they've been working on in the offseason. This guy was plus 22, 92% from the field, 7 for 7 from 3. He was 14 for 13 from the field. He was getting backdoor cuts. He had 9 rebounds. He got busy from all 3 levels. Shout out to Mamu. I can't say the rest of your name, but you did your thing, dog.
You didn't even have time in the 24-second shot clock anyway. The Suns, they defeated the Bulls. They were led by Devin Booker, 41 points for him, including 20 in the fourth quarter, his most in any quarter this season. With the win and a Mavericks loss, finally, Phoenix has overtaken Dallas for the 10th seed in the Western Conference. So there are exactly 30 days remaining until the start of the playoffs, and the difference between an automatic advance and having to play your way in out west is a single game. Yes, one single game. This is what separates the Warriors from the Clippers and the Timberwolves, but adding to the drama is that both of those teams, they own the tiebreakers against Golden State. So UD, 30 days from now, look into your crystal ball here. Which of these teams will be rested, getting to wait for the teams to catch up to them in the postseason, and which are going to have to play their way through?
I had Minnesota.
They're on a roll
in the
right
last
now.
couple games, after the 8-game winning streak, the last couple games kind of made me backpedal a little bit. I was very encouraged by seeing Jimmy Buckets get busy with Steph out, getting back to his old ways, and also having 10 assists, distributing the basketball. So I'm going to go Golden State. I'm going to go Golden State respectfully because I know Chef will be back and I know what they can do.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. For some reason, even though, as you mentioned, they don't really have the tie breaks if things get tight, right? I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors. Look, I believe that game that they lost to the Denver Nuggets was a wake-up call. It was like, hey, guys, we all have to show up. We cannot take these things for granted. And how did they respond? They responded, as Perk would say, in great fashion. They responded in great fashion. Look, the Jimmy Butler effect is in full effect. When Steph's healthy, you see what they're able to do offensively. But more so, I think it's the level of accountability he demands when he's playing at his highest level of his teammates. Like, you can't just slack because Jimmy's out there calling, switching. He'll guard anybody on one possession, and then offensively, he's not afraid to make the extra pass. And so I think their trade and getting Jimmy Butler has really helped them in the best ways.
Look, the odds are in Golden State's favor. The Warriors have been rolling since Jimmy Butler. I'll be the contrarian, though.
Okay.
Hey, look, I was at the Intuit Dome the other night. Kawhi looks good. Look out for the Clippers.
Yeah.
Zubats is an absolute monster. James Harden's been orchestrating that thing all season. They've got depth. They got defense. And if Kawhi's right, they might have the best player. I'm not going to say that. They've got a legit superstar.
I thought you were going to go there for a second.
I dialed myself back mid-sentence.
They are, though, rounding into form at the right time here. They've won 4 straight. That win against the Cavaliers, they looked really, really good here. Of course, 1 game behind the Warriors for 6th. And take a look at their strength of schedules here.
I wish I'd have looked at that before I pumped it.
So the Warriors are the
13th easiest. The Warriors got a 13th easiest.
However, I do think strength of schedule can be a little bit finicky at this time of year because all of a sudden you see guys maybe taking the little extra rest they need before the playoffs and a game that you think is going to be really tough. Look at last night, Lakers Nuggets. All of a sudden their 2 top players aren't playing. So you should take that with a grain of salt. Maybe a shot of tequila. In case you missed it.
Like you would do that. She says that she doesn't even do it.
A shot of water. The NBA announced today something cool, guys. Harrison Barnes as the NBA Cares Bob Lanier Community Assist Award winner for the month of February. Barnes and his wife Brittany, they made a $250,000 donation to Alamo Promise. It's a program that provides the cost of tuition and fees for eligible students, eliminating financial barriers to higher education and making college a real possibility here. Really great work by Harrison Barnes. Christian Braun is having one of the best seasons of his young career, at least personally, across the board, now that he is a full-time starter with the Denver Nuggets here. He has the 3rd highest net rating on the team, behind Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon. And joining us now is Denver swingman Christian Braun. Christian, thank you so much for stopping by our studios.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And sporting appropriate Denver blue as well. I appreciate the coordination. It's certainly been an interesting couple of months, couple of weeks here for the Denver Nuggets, and I'd love to get into all of it with you. Let's sort through your changing role first. Now that you're a starter for the Nuggets, you obviously played a huge role on the team coming off the bench in 2023 for that championship run. But what advice did you get, and from who? Who was in your ear as you've made this transition?
I've had a ton of people, kind of help me out, put me in the right spots. Obviously, I think Calvin Booth put me in a really good position to, be successful. But Nikola's helped me out a ton. I think that people don't realize how vocal he is, and his advice. He literally will put you in a spot on the court. But he prepares me. He puts me in the right spots. And it's just really easy to play off a guy like him. I
feel like people don't realize that Nikola, he has these hilarious post-game moments, but also he can be someone that his teammates lean on so much. The last 2 games, though, you've been without Nikola Jokic. You've been without Jamal Murray, and you had that tough loss to Los Angeles, but also this improbable win over the Golden State Warriors. Are there things that, young guys who maybe aren't going to get the same opportunities when those guys are back can take as you guys are marching towards the postseason, those reps?
I think it's important, like you said, the reps. Everybody's got to be ready to play. It can't just be, the guys that have played all year. But, these late, year reps have been really good for us. And I think that these habits, in these last 10 or so games, we have to build, and we have to be ready, from top to bottom. And I think that these games will be really good for that.
You know what it takes to win a championship. At the college level, at the NBA level, and Nikola Jokic, he's not exactly one to call out his team, but after a couple of games ago, he said, I don't think there's a switch that we can flip here. How do you guys take that as a challenge within the locker room? Yeah,
I think he's right. I think that, you want to build the right habits, all year, and I think that we've been so good offensively. Sometimes we've lacked a little bit on the defensive end. But you want to build the right habits going into the playoffs, and you want to be at your best. And we have 10 or so games to tighten things up, but I think a lot of teams have things to tighten up. And we have so many great players. I know, and great coaches too. I know we're going to be in the right spots, and Nicole's going to get us right. But he's right. We got to tighten some things up. Just be ready for the playoff run.
Absolutely. You're on a team that has some dunking legends. I'm talking about Aaron Gordon, of course, Russell Westbrook, yourself. So let's say there's a Nuggets-only dunk contest. Who's winning that one?
I think I got to give it to Aaron. I think he's put on one of the best, dunk shows we've ever seen.
Come back to it, Aaron. Come back to it.
But no, he's put on one of the best shows we've ever seen, and I think that maybe I'm an in-game dunker. I've had some pretty good in-game dunks this year, but we'll definitely give that crown to Aaron.
The best in-game dunker maybe on the Denver Nuggets? That title could go to you?
I'll take that one.
All right, you'll take that one. Let's talk about, this is March, the men's NCAA tournament. It kicks off today. You have unique bragging rights, having an NCAA title, an NBA title. What is it like to have a year of winning like you did? Because you did it in such close succession here.
I mean, it was two of the greatest years of my life, obviously. I think that getting to win it, at Kansas with the, guys I played with for 3 years was amazing. But it was unique. I had that championship and then went straight to the NBA. Kind of was thrown into it. Coaches put me in a really good position. Coach Malone trusted me, in the finals. So that was obviously really big for me. And then the guys, have trusted me, in each role I've kind of stepped into, and they put me in the right spots. And all I got to do is be available and, just play hard.
I have a trivia question for you because you're part of a very rare group. I know, you're looking at me like, what? I love trivia. It doesn't mean I'm good at trivia. You have a title for Kansas. You have a title for Denver. That puts you in a very, very rare air. Do you know how many active players have that crown? Active players.
Active players.
Active players.
Oh, man.
So it's you. You have a teammate, Colin Gillespie.
Last year.
Anthony Davis, Dante DiVincenzo, Al Horford. That's it. So you're one of 5 in that regard. You're welcome. New bragging rights. You said that you're one of the best cutters, the best finishers in the NBA. So can we watch a little bit of film together? Let's take it to our big board to watch exactly how Christian Braun gets it done. If you're not familiar, which of course you are, everyone's been watching Denver basketball. Let's get after it with a little bit of tape here, because you mentioned playing with Nikola Jokic, right? He's one of the best players of all time. So on a play like this, there's you. What are you seeing?
I mean, when Nikola has the ball, obviously there's a ton of eyes on him, so it's my job to, find the open spot. On this one, it was a cut. A lot of times, it's a spot up 3. You got to be able to knock down those shots when you play with him.
And then right here, Dario Saric, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, when Dario is posting up, we're just trying to play off him. It's the same offense we've always ran. Right here, he had his back turned, so my job is to finish the play, and those guys do a really good job of finding me. They
call him Slam Whitmore, so he's obviously been on the other side of those, but how does it feel when you're kind of throwing down a poster like that?
It definitely feels good, when you're the one throwing it down, but like you said, I think he got one right back after that.
Well, that's what makes it so much fun. Christian Braun, thank you so much for stopping by NBA Today. We really appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
Here's our next Wednesday doubleheader right here on ESPN. Luka and the Lakers, they play Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers at 7:30, and then Jason Tatum and the Celtics take on KD, Devin Booker and the Suns. NBA Countdown tips off our coverage. It's at 7 o'clock. And speaking of the Celtics, some huge news this morning. Our Shams Charania reporting the Celtics have sold for a valuation of $6.1 billion. That's the largest sale for a sports franchise in North America. Bill Chisholm, the managing partner of Symphony Technology Group, is purchasing the team from the Grossbeck family. So our front office insider, Bobby Marks, is joining us now. Bobby, what was your reaction? $6 billion price tag. What does that mean for the Celtics' current roster, too? My goodness.
Well, my original reaction was, wow, right? Remember, that doesn't even include the arena, Malika. They don't own that arena. Unlike when Matt Ishbia bought that Phoenix team, the arena came with the deal here. My original reaction is, what does it mean to this roster moving forward in Boston? Remember, they are a luxury tax team next year. The first year of that Jason Tatum Supermax kicks in. You already got Jaylen Brown under contract for 4 more years. However, although you might be paying $500 million in luxury tax and payroll, you've got 11 players under contract for next year. You've got 2 picks in the top 32. So the roster is still sustainable, even with that price tag.
But they're role players. They've been somewhat of a revelation this season, Bobby. And keeping this team together is going to be so key to stacking more championships. Do you foresee players like Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, who's had so many big moments, being able to stay with the squad long term?
Well, that's where this new CBA comes into play, because what the commissioner has done was they said you can have some toys, but you can't have all the toys. And the toys are Sam Hauser and certainly Peyton Pritchard. Here's a number for you, Malika. By keeping Sam Hauser on your roster, his first year of that extension kicks in, he is worth $90 million when you look at his salary, which is $10 million, and then the additional $80 million in luxury tax penalties that come with it. So if they are looking at a move, it would certainly be shedding some of that money, which would be Sam Hauser.
Ooh, $90 million. Well, when you put it that way, I was all for the toys, but that is a pricey toy. Bobby Marks, thank you so much for stopping by. So current Celtics governor, Wyc Grousbeck, released a statement saying he's going to remain in his current position for the first 3 years. He is going to stay put and stay on as a partner. So continuity through this transition, but Udonis, keeping these pieces together, that is so key to making these dynastic runs. Can the Celtics still be a dynasty now that they're changing hands?
You want me to be honest?
Yes, please.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
That hurt you to say?
Yeah, it did a little bit. They have the ingredients, but can they bake the cake is the question. They have generational, legendary players that never is going to leave the organization, we think. You know, we have coaching in Joe Mazzulla. We have 15 guys in that locker room that has bought in. We have Uncle Al over there, so we have leadership. We have Porzingis, who can stretch the floor at 7 foot, who we call a unicorn. They have all the pieces to build a legacy. They've been to 2 of the last 5 finals, but they've only won 1. So you have to win more to consider yourself to be a dynasty. And that's that's the only question I would say. Can they get more?
Yes, that is the question, because when I think of dynasties, I think of decades.
Yes.
And how many championships have you won over the course of decades? It's not just about repeating. It's about doing the things that the Chicago Bulls did over a decade, or the Los Angeles Lakers over a decade, or the Golden State Warriors over a decade. So first, they have to repeat.
And I think I thought she was going to say the Miami Heat. I was waiting to say, I was going to hit you with the hallelujah after that one.
No, I was going to say for the or what the Miami Heat have done over a decade.
There you go.
Hallelujah. Amen. Praise the Lord. But Malika, you always say this to put into context, you know, how difficult it is. We have not had a repeat champion since the Warriors back then. So to me, it's all about what they do over the decade. Do they have the ingredients? Yes. I think they do, but it's so much harder to do in reality.
Doesn't that all start with this year, though? A dynasty just starts with 2. You start with 2. The Celtics path, we've talked about it over and over again. Just the other day, Oklahoma City overtook the Celtics in the odds to win a championship. But the eye test still says Boston is the team to beat. What is going to be their biggest obstacle this year?
Health. Health. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Jason Tatum took a game off. Porzingis has been in and out of the rotation lately. So I would say health. But if they're a healthy basketball team, I'm going to take the Boston Celtics 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. This is a show me league, and they have shown me, and I'm going with what I see with my eyes.
The health of Kristaps Porzingis, you mentioned him, you call him the unicorn. And that, to me, is going to be it was a key last year when he was able to come back, even though he missed the first half of the season. It's a key again this year, Sinead.
Sis, all they needed was 1/2 of basketball from Kristaps Porzingis to win an NBA title, and they got it. And again, he delivered in great fashion in my Perk voice. But think about it, y'all. Like, this Celtics team, they have the luxury of playing however you want it, however you like it.
Man.
Because the Porzingis, he can be ferocious at the rim. I remember the game where he dunked it and then just stared.
Flexed on him, I ain't never seen him do that.
I was like, whoa, this guy is different. He unlocks their ability to be interchangeable. They have length, athleticism, size, skill, coaching. You
Defense,
name it.
Grit.
They've got it all.
Not to mention, when he came out to warm up and came out of the tunnel, the first game he was playing, the roar from the crowd. We were all sitting in the arena. That's usually a roar that's reserved for a Steph Curry or LeBron James. They know how important Kristaps Porzingis is to this franchise and organization.
The Celtics' biggest competition is themselves. That's it.
Oklahoma UD. 5 seconds left. Down 1. Cade pulls up, calls bank for the win. What? Wait, did he call it? Well, he said he whispered it. Here's how it sounded last night in studio when we saw this shot.
Let's go. Why? I call it. They call it final 2. They call it final. Freaking go. That's the motorcade.
Hey.
So that shot goes in. We thought we were going to be having what's called a fill.
Not too much excitement, guys.
We were.
I'm sorry.
They were really excited about it last night.
Richard, you called it?
It was not a rooting interest. It's just a really great finish
shot.
that we all get excited for.
A hell of a shot.
So we thought that we were going to have to go back on TV. It's called a fill. We were going to fill between the two games, the space that was going to happen. That shot went down, and so no fill was necessary. So we all left the studio, and we decided we needed to go. Our studio's on the 4th floor, down to the 3rd floor, and then this happened.
There's definitely. Yes, Perk's in here. We're stuck in an elevator.
We're stuck in an elevator. We're going to be on TV in 20 minutes. And we're stuck in an elevator.
So then, like all good stories go, it started with a bad idea from Richard Jefferson.
I still can't believe this happened. It was all Richard's fault.
It's all Richard's fault, and we get stuck, Perk, Shanae, and I, inside the elevator.
Perk's trying to pry it open there.
We thought we had it. It would open, like, just for 4 or 5 inches, and we thought we had it. Look, I mean,
Perk can squeeze through that.
We're high-fiving. We thought we'd solved it. We're dancing.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Every time it opened, we're like, yeah.
And it only opened that much.
Yeah.
And so it kept...
Y'all, at this point, it was like 20, 25 minutes, and we were supposed to be on TV probably soon.
And it kept opening about that much. So then we had to call security, and security had to come get us out. And once it opened about a foot, Janae and I slipped right out of there. We were at their lightning speed.
So we're having to Perk.
He's still in there.
That's the problem.
We're having to Perk.
That's why he's not on the
He's
show.
still in there today.
We had to call the fire department.
I saw an opportunity, and I went through it, and then Malika
The
joined
jaws
right
of
behind.
life.
Once I saw that she could get there, we had to get the fire department to come.
We had to get Perk.
To get our good brother Perk out of the elevator.
Who takes the elevator down one floor? There's stairs.
35 minutes, Kendrick Perkins was freed.
He was freed from the elevator.
Perk, we're so sorry.
No, we're not. Richard owes you an apology.
This is all Richard's fault. He had some idea, and it just went really, really badly. But we made it.
We did.
And it's Thursday, so now that we're free, let's have some fun. It's our hit game, Who Said That? We're going to take a look at some of the quotes that caught our attention and ask our esteemed contestants and Tim McMahon, who said that?
Hey.
Let's do it. You have to have a minimum number of games played in order to make our leaderboard here. So, Udonis, you're 1 for 2. Tim McMahon, you're 0 for 1.
0 for 1.
Janae, since you're batting 45
like
here,
basketball to
let's start with you.
18?
I don't read the stuff. No.
We're going to work on that.
He's being frank.
Janae, who said this quote? I take great pride in my passing. I pass the out of the ball, thank you. Was it Scoot Henderson? Was it Draymond Green? Or was it Anthony Edwards?
I'm going to go Anthony Edwards.
Was it Anthony Edwards?
Oh my God, no!
You were just assuming because there was a cuss word.
I was with Ann on that one too.
I passed it out the ball, so thank you.
He does.
That was the coming back to Big O.
Our producers did a bait and switch on you. They gave you the ding,
So
and
I
then
feel
they're
like because you gave me the ding, I should get the point.
Well, I don't think that's quite how it works, but because you were stuck in an elevator, we'll give you half a point for that one.
I don't care either.
Next up, Udonis.
This is horrible.
Who said this? Quote, he did a stupid play at the end. Minute 30, left going for a steal. Silly boy.
We'll go with
Was
Steven
it Giannis? Was it LaMelo Ball? Udonis is going with Steven Adams.
I watched that game. So that makes me 2 for 3.
Minute 30 left going for a steal. Silly boy.
I can see that. It's silly boy. I can see that coming out of
you closed your eyes and you saw the silly boy come to fruition. All right, so now you're 2 of 3. What did we decide? Minimum 3 or minimum 5 to make the leaderboard?
I think it's 5.
I think minimum 5.
Five
so
is fair.
we'll keep having you back though, since you got that one. Tim McMahon, who said, quote, we're not playing good. Hopefully we figure it out somehow or not. Was it Nikola Jokic? Was it Bull? Or was it Klay Thompson? You can marinate on this.
There is a lot of pressure on me right now.
Now you feel it?
Can we get a clean sweep here? I'm going to go with the Joker.
Is it Nikola